you think about how BI tools usually work, is you have to spend months and months of time extracting data, building some kind of data lake or data warehouse, then build dashboards, and at best they're still backward looking. They're really not predictive, right? And other GTM tools are really focused on one part of the funnel. Now, what we do is we integrate the data across the motions, across disparate systems, and this capability is really complex and not really existent.
Hey, Depinder, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Hi there, Haley. How are you doing?
Good. Okay, so tell us in your own words what RevSure does and who it is for.
Yeah, so RevSure, we're really about helping other B2B companies and marketing teams of other B2B companies improve pipeline generation, which is really about helping them accelerate pipeline by giving them forward-looking guidance and recommendations as to how to optimize the demand gen campaigns, prioritize the right leads and opportunities accounts with the right next best actions, and essentially improve conversions and velocities in the journey to pipeline. That's what we do.
I think that prioritizing piece really stood out to us as we were talking to your customers and learning more about the product. Is it really helps marketing leaders think about, are we on target? And if not, what should we be doing to really course correct to get there?
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's what a lot of our users like, is that we actually connect every lead and opportunity and account with its pipeline propensity, which is very unique, right? So then they can make the decision as to which leads are right to go after, because at any stage, it's only probably 5 to 7% of the leads that you really want to go after. And so the prioritization really helps them focus there.
Yeah. So super action oriented, which I think people really have gravitated towards, and is super critical right now for marketing teams and leaders. So maybe can you talk a little bit more about what you're seeing in the market right now and why RevSure is so critical at this juncture?
Yeah. So essentially, we know what's happening in this economy. So every marketer is pressured with doing more with less. Right. So you have, rationalizations of budgets, no software spending, even program budgets are coming down. Right. And in this economy, if you're a marketer, you're really pressured as to say, hey, all of those investments you already made in the past, let's say 1 quarter or 2 quarters, you have a lot of leads and MQLs that are sitting that are not really seeing the daylight of opportunities. How do you maximize those investments and leverage those investments as much as possible? And then on the other end, if you have to make additional investments, how do you optimize those investments so that they will really lead to pipeline and revenue and not just sit there as leads or MQLs? And that's really what's driving a lot of the urgency around this.
Yeah, I think in my experience, that was some of the things that our marketing team was always talking about, right? Is do we hire another BDR, or do we, focus on this additional event, or, which campaign is performing the best? And so having that, almost real-time visibility right there to make those decisions is super critical.
Exactly. And what enables them to do this is that if you have predictive visibility, not backward looking, right? So usually when you analyze a campaign, you're always looking back. So you're waiting till the end of the quarter to see its performance, but you never have the ability to say, hey, this campaign and there are 2-3 campaigns, which ones will have the forward looking pipeline and revenue, and can I reallocate? And that becomes critical. We feel as for marketing teams to have.
Yeah. And so maybe a little bit more about that. So when you think about other go-to-market tools and other BI tools, a lot of tools say you can get visibility of your pipeline and conversion rates. So what is that real differentiator that sets RevSure apart?
Yeah, what's interesting is you think about us like a combination of a predictive visibility tool, so we can tell you where you will land, right, in terms of pipeline based on all of the efforts, plus an attribution tool, what is working, what's not working, and again, in a predictive way, so you can reallocate, plus next best action and prioritization, right? So it goes from the aggregate level to the most granular actionable level, right? And the only way we can do it, and if you think about how BI tools usually work, is you have to spend months and months of time extracting data, building some kind of data lake or data warehouse, then build dashboards, and at best, they're still backward looking. They're really not predictive, right? And other GTM tools are really focused on one part of the funnel. Now, what we do is we integrate the data across the motions, right, across disparate systems, and this capability is really complex and not really existent. That's what enables us to do that.
And that's the piece that really stood out to me too, is when you think about attribution for, okay, this meeting or this revenue or this acquired customer, there's so many different touch points today that a company has with its potential customer base. And so getting all of that data from all of those touch points together in one place, oriented around the same terms, is really difficult. So that piece of really making that data normalization process more automated and showing that to the customer is super cool. That piece is not easy to do and really critical to getting that holistic picture.
Yeah, and what's very interesting is that we are able to look at the interactions between the marketing efforts and the BDR efforts and the sales efforts, and that interaction, and that is in different systems. So that's what kind of gets us, the additional lift, because we're able to analyze those interactions.
And so, Devinder, you're a repeat founder, and you have a ton of experience that you're bringing to RevSure. So tell us a little bit about the spark to start RevSure and how you built your early team.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. So I had just exited my previous startup. That was back in July 2021. And, one of the things I've been spending a lot of time on in my previous career is doing a lot of big data analytics for a lot of Fortune 100 companies. And I had solved some of these problems, although in a mode where these problems took like many, many months to solve, because these were big problems like attribution problems and marketing mix problems and cross-sell, upsell problems and conversion problems. So I thought I got really excited by doing this in a more systematic way, leveraging all of that experience of data harmonization built with AI. And that's what really got me excited. And that's how I decided to start up. Now, the early team, really, I wanted to pick from this unique skill set. So we've done an interesting job of picking people from the customer data platform world that create identity graphs, right? In the B2C world, right? People who have done really, really strong integration across multiple systems. So we've kind of brought together a team that combines the data integration harmonization capabilities at scale plus AI capabilities, right? And then obviously people who understand sales tech, marketing tech, rev tech, etc. together. And that's what really we built the early team with.
That's great. Yeah, it seems like several people that you've worked with in the past too. So people that really understand the startup gene.
Exactly. And that's very important, right? Because we are on a mission to change how this space operates currently.
Yeah. And so, when you think about the progress that you've made to date, you've only been around since August of last year. So what's most exciting to you about the traction that you've had thus far?
Yeah, I think what we've been surprised with as well is obviously we built a design for it, how we've been able to adapt to a variety of customers, right? The sizes of the customers and their GTM motions, whether that is primarily inbound, outbound, SDR, BDR related. What the variety of ACVs, that has been very exciting to us, that kind of applies to, right? So the different variables in the GTM motion we've been able to adapt to very well. The other thing that's become was very interesting for us is that there are groups of users across marketing, demand gen, and ops teams that started gravitating towards us, right? And that was very exciting because when you see the impact to the user and how they can use it on a daily basis and the insights and recommendations, that's what gets us excited, right? So that's what is our aha about their aha, which is amazing to have.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about the funding environment right now. So it's not the easiest time to fundraise. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what drew you to Operator Collective.
Yeah, so obviously funding environment is tough. But I feel that obviously, we know different founders who are going through this right now. Some are succeeding, some are not. And some are trying to kind of rein in costs to kind of elongate roadmaps, their runways. But essentially, I think what's happening is that VCs are still deploying, but they're deploying very selectively. And we've been lucky to have someone like Operator Collective kind of have confidence in us. And what excited me about Operator Collective is a great team, but also the great network of LPs that you guys from executives that you have, which I've already started interacting with, right, and learning a lot from, which becomes sort of advisors, but also could become customers as we go along, right? And that's what really excites me. And it excites me that it is like a very synergistic environment where we are building the business together, right? It doesn't feel like a VC relationship. It feels like we're building this and we are in this together. And that's what really attracted me towards you and Operator Collective. Yeah.
Well, we are very excited to partner with you in this next phase for sure. So what's next for RevSure as you think about, what you're going to do on this funding and what the milestones are? What's next?
Yeah, so I think we're very excited to build the next stage. And for example, we are now working with many customers. We want to take that success to the next level, obviously deepen the product and technology investments. So we make sure that we cement the value that we're delivering. That's the first thing. The second thing, scale our customer acquisition efforts so that we get to our repeatable GTM motion as soon as possible so we can scale to the next level to raise our next round. But more importantly, I'm very excited in this space about bringing predictive AI and generative AI together, right? And I feel that we could be one of the first companies to do that because generative AI really helps you summarize the knowledge that you have, but predictive AI helps you predict the future. And when that combination comes together, that becomes very powerful. So look out for updates from us on that, but I'm very excited about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Deepinder, and we are excited to move on to this next phase with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, really. Very excited as well. Thanks.